Coral and how they will affect us when they are gone forever. What are coral? Coral are a marine invertebrate that live underwater. Coral is what makes up a coral reef. Coral typically live in small, compact colonies made up of many polyps. Soft coral versus hard coral. Stony coral, like the coral in this picture, can grow massive. They grow so big that they overtake other coral territory and even form their own colonies. The polyps of hard coral have 6-folded symmetry, while soft coral has 8. The mouth of each and every polyp is surrounded by a ring of tentacles. Hard coral also have another advantage. Because they're so hard and structured, they're able to really sink into the ground, never being ripped out by storms. Soft coral, like the one in this picture, are very delicate and almost fluffy looking. Soft corals, unlike hard corals, have no stony skeleton, but soft corals do have small tissues that are often made more tough by the presence of tiny skeletal elements known as sclerites. Both corals have tentacles that are retracted by sunlight and spread out at night to feed on plankton and other small organisms living near and around the coral. Coral bleaching is when a healthy coral becomes super stressed because of rising temperatures in the water, so they end up bleaching themselves, turning the color of white. That's why it's called bleaching. Corals are bleaching themselves because of millions of brightly colored microalgae that are inside themselves. These algae live symbiotically within the coral polyps, using sunlight to make sugars, which are given to the polyp, providing crucial nourishment. In turn, coral polyps provide the microalgae with carbon dioxide and a home. This balanced symbiotic relationship is very sensitive to water temperatures and light. So if the sea temperature gets too warm, the algae gets stressed and begins to produce toxic-free radical waste products that poison the coral polyp. This triggers the coral polyp to expel colorful zooxanthellae into the water. When this happens, the coral turns white and is known as coral bleaching. But the good thing is, bleached coral is not necessarily dead. If the sea temperature quickly gets back to normal temperature, the coral will stay alive and get back to normal in a matter of few months. However, if sea temperature stays at the same super high heat, then the coral will not be able to feed itself and the polyps will die, leaving an empty shell/skeleton of a coral. The middle picture is what they look bleached and 100% dead. Coral bleaching can happen so fast. In under a year. It can kill a whole entire ecosystem and wipe out dozens and dozens of fish. The Great Barrier Reef has gone through many changes in the past few years, and now almost half of it is dead. The Great Barrier Reef started bleaching itself in 2014 and still has not stopped. This has become the global bleaching event of the century. In this picture here, you can see how many corals already in 2015 are at high alert level, and that's just in 2015. Now, in 2018, almost all the corals that weren't in high alert in the last graph are now in the highest alert. And those were just regular reefs. Now you can see the Great Barrier Reef here, as of 2016, is in great peril. What you can do to help save corals. If you're anywhere swimming near or snorkeling near a coral reef, don't break off any part of the coral because it will hurt the whole entire ecosystem and kill that whole entire half of the reef. Fishing or boating near a coral reef could be detrimental to that coral reef. If any part of it gets broken or if an anchor gashes through the whole thing, that's a whole chunk of ecosystem gone, and it can't be replaced. When you're on the beach or anywhere near any bodies of water, pick up the litter because it makes the water cleaner and it helps ecosystems in the water thrive. When you're snorkeling or scuba diving near coral reefs, make sure that your flippers don't hit any part or you don't move any animals that are already there. They're all there for a reason. Another thing that people can do to help save corals is eat sustainable seafood. Some fish are needed in coral reefs, and we don't need to eat them, so just don't eat them. Use reef-safe sunscreen because sunscreens can be very damaging to soft corals, and soft corals are very, very valuable to reefs. What experts are doing to help corals? Some experts in Mexico decide it would be really good for the reefs to get a break, but reefs are what bring in many, many tourists a year. So, they sunk a bunch of statues as a way for corals to latch onto and start to grow on, creating almost a small, unique little ecosystem. This gives a break to regular reefs, which get a lot of damage from tourists, and it gives a place for new corals to grow and blossom. And another really cool fact is most of the statues that are sunk are actually made after real live people. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope now whenever you go to a beach, you're able to do a little part in helping our big ocean ecosystem.